Hello and welcome to our Living Pokédex challenge in Pokémon Gen 2. In order to complete this challenge, we have to get every single Pokémon, and that includes every evolution step. Note that this is part 2. You can find other parts, as well as in-depth explanations, in the playlist in the video description. Finally, most of the journey was streamed live on Twitch. When we left off, we had just concluded the story in Pokémon Silver by arriving in the final area of the game, Mount Silver. So now, let's do it all over again! That's right, we need to go back to the beginning and start a new adventure in Pokémon Gold. Thankfully, things will be slightly different. First, because we pick the Fire starter this time, naming him Fiend for Phoenix. I thought it fit the Fire theme. Also, second, because getting all the badges in both Johto and Kanto is not required. Our goal here is to obtain the Pokémon exclusive to Gold. We still need to have access to Kanto to do that, so we have a bit of the game to play. Let's skip the story this time, as we already know how it goes. Learn about Pokémon eggs, Elm calls a kid instead of the police, meet a nasty redhead called Mark, and we're off. One thing to note is that while we could be catching every Pokémon we don't already have and trade them all at the end, trading takes time, and keeping track of every caught Pokémon is a big headache. It is true I made a very convenient and absolutely marvelous website I recommend you check out, but we will be juggling several versions at the same time. 4 to be exact. It is thus easier to make the focus of each side version catching only the version exclusive Pokémon. So we get to Violet City. The tower was already a joke with a water Pokémon. Imagine a fire one. In this same city, we are given the Togepi egg. We already have a Togepi, but remember, we are going for a Living Dex. We need both Togepi and Togetic. A bit later, we find a cute Sandshrew in Union Cave. Once we reach Azalea Town, we destroy both the Team Rocket and the gym leader. But then, Mark teaches us an important lesson. Fire is weak to water. You know, in most games, I've always picked the Water starter for 2 reasons. 1, I love water Pokémon. 2, every time I picked a starter of another type, I regretted it. In the rematch, we lower Croconaws' accuracy with Smokescreen and rely on the power of using potions to carry us to victory. Hopefully, it will be the only starter-related problem we encounter this challenge. We can now enter Ilex Forest, also known in Gold as the Metapod domain. I don't know what happened, but clearly I did something very wrong, because every Metapod in the neighborhood was out to get me. Maybe it's because we caught one of them along with a Caterpie earlier. Next, Whitney. If Mark was problematic, surely Whitney will be an even tougher opponent. Surprisingly, no. We instantly get a lucky burn, and then hide behind a wall of smoke waiting for Miltank to faint. That was easy. Ah, we meet again, time-traveling, Pokémon storage-making crazy man. Tell me your secrets, and I will not take no for an answer. I will take an Eevee though. Also in Ecruteak, I get overconfident and run out of PP against the city's gym leader. Okay, this one's on me. Yay! Look at this guy, so cute! Unfortunately, we need 2 extra Pokémon for HM purposes. A bird and a fish. So, we grab a Pidgeotto and a level 20 Magikarp we instantly evolve using a rare candy. I mean, it's not like we're going to fight with this thing. What is it gonna do? Save our bacon and completely carry the team against the next gym leader? Yes it will. Fiend manages to use a few smokescreen before getting obliterated, leaving our newly acquired Gyarados to dodge Poliwrath's attacks and get through 3 confusion checks in a row to bring us the victory. Absolutely worth a spot on the team. Oh, I guess Jasmine exists also. Next up, the Team Rocket part. Let me summarize the next hour of gameplay in 15 seconds. It does end on a good note though, with the cutest Houndoom sprite ever. It looks like he's blushing. Aww. We make sure to enjoy the moment, because Claire, the next gym leader, shows us once again that the water starter is the absolute best choice every time. We regroup and decide to use the power of money to win the fight. See, I make a point to never use X items whenever I play. Why? Because this. Having proven our incredible skill, we make our way to the Elite Four, getting the gold exclusive Ursa Ring while in Victory Road. The congregation of the best trainers in the world proves powerless against my fat stack of cash. Really, that's our strategy. We almost lose to Lance, but what can you do against a trainer loaded with revives, hyper potions, and full restores? Nothing. You can do nothing. One boat ride later, we enter Kanto, and are reminded this is supposed to be a living Pokédex challenge. Let's get to catching some Pokémon. On Route 9, we get Mankey and... Primeape. Primeape? Please? Did the game forget we were supposed to catch Pokémon? Primeape? It must be the grass. Let's change spots. Nope. Still nothing. It takes us 18 minutes to encounter one single solitary Primeape. Okay, Route 7, get 2 Growlithes. They can roar. Fine. Back to Johto then. Let's get Sandslash and Arbok. Arbok. Arbok? No Arbok. Where is this dang Arbok? My checklist says there's an Arbok on Route 27. In gold. Oh. My checklist is wrong. Arbok is exclusive to silver. In fact, it is the counterpart to Sandslash in gold. I can't do this right now. I think I need a break. Y'en a plus de 150 que tu peux attraper. Devenir maître Pokémon, c'est ma destinée. Dracofeu, Macogneur, Scarabreute, Smogo, Trépiqueur, Nosferatu, Starry, Magikarp, Luna, Apo, Ammonista, Insécateur, Tentacool, Draco, Magmar! Alright, I feel a lot better now. We can get the rest of the gold exclusive Pokemon, like Mantine, Gligar, Teddiursa. Oh, you want to run away? Well, you can't get me down this time. Yes, I used the Master Ball on Teddiursa. It is fine, because the only Pokemon left to catch are 2 Spinnerax and a Butterfree, and those are a breeze. Alright, maybe Gen 2 was a bit too much for me. I should go back to Gen 1 with Pokemon Red. Actually, I have to go back to Gen 1, because the starters, fossils, and legendaries are completely absent from Gen 2. We are now starting a brand new adventure in Red, but we make an incredibly terrible mistake. Did you catch that? Let me show you in slow motion. That's right, we picked Bulbasaur. See, I wanted to give the grass starter a chance, as I never pick it. So, of course, I get instantly punished and lose the very first rival fight. But surely that was a fluke. Well, we almost lose to the first trainer in Viridian Forest and have to run back to the Pokémon Center. We almost lose to the trainer in Pewter City's gym and have to use potions. We learn Vine Whip just as we beat Brock, and once we get to Mount Moon, we almost lose to a Zubat. It's all good though, because almost losing is not actually losing. Oh my god! Alright, almost lost to a Coughing as well. We do catch a break against the next rival fight, using our favorite move, Money. But we run out, and what was bound to happen, happens. We lose to a Zubat. From that point onward, I play it very safe, and go back to the Pokémon Center every other encounter. The worst part in this is that our goal here is to catch every legendary Pokémon, meaning we need to defeat the Elite Four to get access to Cerulean Cave. It also means that, once again, the catching part of this Living Dex challenge will stay in the background, and we will just try to get through the story as fast as possible. Another close call against Eradicate 10 levels lower than us, and we make it to the SSN, where we get the good old Body Slam. Big damage and a chance to paralyze the opponent? Yes, please. The next rival fight proves a doozy. I foolishly thought things were going to get easier, but we are still playing with the grass starter. So, of course, I have to burn through my recently purchased stack of super potions just to defeat Charmeleon. Now, one of the advantages of getting Bulbasaur is being able to use the HM Cut immediately. But right now, its moveset is already so limited, we still have to catch an Oddish just to teach it Cut. Man. Although, we finally get to a fantastic place for a grass type, Rock Tunnel. We almost make the entire trip in one go, but lose to the very last trainer. We come back with a beefed up Venusaur, and voila! Getting our main Pokémon fully evolved proves to be the solution to our woes. But there lies my fundamental problem with the grass starter. Every single starter choice, when fully evolved, is extremely good to the point of being able to solo the game. But grass is weak to so many types, and common ones at that, and its attacks lack in power or are ineffective against so many Pokémon, the leveling process becomes incredibly tough. I am certain this gets fixed in later generations, but for now, we are stuck with our bowl of vegetables. Seriously, what is this back sprite? Did you know, if you talk to the Team Rocket member who drops the lift key from the left, the key is dropped under you? I don't know, that's the most interesting thing to happen from now on. Not that I am complaining, mind you. We now have a Pokémon powerful enough to crush any opponent, including the rival. Never mind. Even fully evolved, our walking salad is still paper thin. Well, it's time for the fun police. X items. Done. So, apart from the rival, we destroy every trainer in our way. Once in Cinnabar Island, we complete one of our main goals in Gen 1 by reviving our fossil, here obtaining Ammonite. We also catch Moltres on the way to the Elite Four. Finally, we get to the hardest challenge of the run. And what a fun time that was! Seriously! While I am now convinced that starting with Bulbasaur is a terrible idea, having to defeat the Elite Four with Venusaur proved to be one of the most enjoyable and thrilling times I've had playing Gen 1. Lorelei and Bruno are simple, but things get serious against Agatha. The non-normal damaging moves Venusaur has are Razor Leaf and Mega Drain, both hitting for low damage, against the onslaught of sleep and confusion moves. We need some help from our newly acquired Moltres, and after a grueling match, where we used quite a few revives, we make it to Lance. He's an easier fight, but not easy. And now, our final encounter against the rival. The power of money won't do much good for us here. We are running out of revives, PPs, and the raw power of his Pokémon means any turn we don't attack could spell our doom. Pidgeot doesn't go down before taking a good chunk of our HP, and Moltres has to tank the fast Alakazam while I get Venusaur back into the fight. Rhydon is an easy heal with Mega Drain, but Executor turns the fight into a sleep race. That I win. Oh, he can use items as well? Time for Moltres to shine. The victory is short-lived, as Gyarados cleans up our bird with a single Hydro Pump. We return the favor. Now backed against the wall, with only our starter remaining, we have a single strategy left. Sleep Powder and Pray.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Now we pray. Let's go. Keep sleeping, man. It's all good. So it's probably gonna be a full restore, though. Oh! With the crit! With the critical hit at the end.
We are now finished with the Elite Four. Once again, one of the most entertaining I've done ever. Our success means we can enter Cerulean Cave. As part of the best victory lap ever, we get Zapdos, Articuno, Mewtwo, and after a bit of glitch abusing, Mew. I made a video about Gen 1 catching mechanics, and how to get the best of them, and it was very helpful here. Be sure to check it out. The way this stuff works is interesting, to say the least. So, what do we do now that we're done with Gen 1? We start over. Really? We basically need to play the game once more until Cinnabar Island for Kabuto. There is not much to say about this playthrough, mostly because this time I picked the correct starter. Did you know there are only 3 gym leaders you need to defeat to get to Cinnabar Island? Brock, as he is mandatory, Misty for Cut, and Koga for Surf. Almost 3 hours just for a fossil. We need one final save file for the 3rd starter, but this time we're done in less than 10 minutes. Our journey to get all starters ends in Gen 2, with Pokémon Crystal. There are only 2 Pokémon we need to obtain here, Chikorita and Celebi. The former is simple enough to acquire, but what about the latter? See, Celebi is only catchable during the JS Ball event, and this ball was never distributed outside Japan. If that wasn't dumb enough, the entire thing was localized and exists in the game files. So, we can go 2 ways about this. Either we use a glitch to obtain the JS Ball, or we use a glitch to get Celebi. If we get Celebi directly, we don't get to see the unique event. If we obtain the JS Ball, we still don't get to see the event, because it is never properly triggered. We have the correct item, but the game does not check for it. Also, both glitches require a stupid amount of setup and rely on memory corruption. Well, I wish I didn't have to do that, but I see no other good alternatives. I'll just cheat and activate the event. It is a bummer that this whole thing was locked behind such an arbitrary restriction, especially considering they never properly allowed players to access this content, even legitimately. Thankfully, this event was made available in the Virtual Console version of Crystal, although it requires you to beat the Elite Four beforehand. It is fine. I am certain this is the worst it will ever get. Oh, also, because the JS Ball events starts at the Goldenrod Pokémon Center, we play until Ecruteak City to meet Bill and get an extra EV. But that's not an issue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant we almost lose to the first gym, we lose to the Team Rocket in Azalea Town, and are stuck between a never-ending onslaught of Fury Carter at the gym or Mark's burning surprise. My god, I hate grass starters so much. When you have to rely on the strategy of losing over and over to the same trainer just to get XP, you know you've made a mistake. The mistake this time? Weirdly enough, we crush Whitney's Miltank. And after a lengthy trading session where we get all our fresh catches to the main version, Pokémon Silver, here's where we stand. I apologize for not keeping a tally of all the catches during our arduous journey. To be honest, even I had a hard time keeping track of everything, with so many save files across different versions going on at the same time. But no matter now, we have all the Pokémon in Gen 2 on one single cartridge. The only problem? Not all of them are in our possession. So let's do this. Next video. You really don't want to miss the conclusion, as we have kept the best of the adventure for last. I would very much like to thank all the people supporting this content on Patreon. It means a lot to me. If you want to join them, you will get to enjoy unique perks, including me singing the Poké Rap in French in place of the Bailly sponsorship. Don't become a patron just for that, though. Thank you for the time you have given me, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you a fantastic day.